Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, not guilty. The judge's reason for acquitting all 5 hockey players in a sexual assault trial. Hopping with hoppers, a family wondering why their yard is absolutely crawling with grasshoppers. And Best in Brew, why coffee baristas from across the country are competing in Edmonton.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Not guilty verdicts on all charges were handed down in a London, Ontario courtroom today. The high-profile hockey trial has concluded with the judge telling the 5 players they're free to go. People who advocate for sex assault victims say the decision has left them disappointed but not surprised. CTV's Nara Manisa has reaction to the acquittals.
What do we want? After an 8-week trial, 5 former members of the 2018 World Junior Hockey Team arrived to see its conclusion. Michael McLeod, Dylan Dubé, Carter Hart, Alex Formenton, and Cal Foote were each charged with sexual assault stemming from an encounter in a hotel room in June of 2018. The judge found them not guilty on all charges.
We have received dozens of messages from people across Canada and abroad asking us to pass along these messages of thanks and support for EM.
The woman at the center of the case, referred to in court as EM, says she consented to going to a hotel for sex with McLeod, but was later sexually assaulted by his teammates after McLeod invited them to the room. Justice Maria Caracia said she did not find the evidence of EM to be either credible or reliable, adding where she had gaps in her memory, she filled them with assumptions.
I think she could have done all that she needed to do if she was intent on finding those boys not guilty by not just rubbing more salt into the wound.
Mary Jane James with the Sexual Assault Centre of Edmonton says this was a complex case. She says only about 6% of sexual assault victims pursue charges.
And what I'm fearful of is that there will be a ripple effect, that even more survivors will avoid the justice system.
This sports culture professor says the case has created some positive discussion.
There's been some important changes to Hockey Canada and some important recognition of some of the problems and challenges within high performance sport and hockey in particular. And so I hope that those efforts will continue.
James says while she respects the justice's decision,
the behavior that they demonstrated in that room that night was reprehensible at best. And I hope that they will take this experience and go forward and have learned something from it.
The Crown's office says her team will review the decision and that she has no further comment as the case is within the appeal period. Nara Manisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
As RCMP search for dozens of stolen vehicles connected to a car theft ring, it's offering up some tips to drivers. For the past 6 months, police have been investigating an organized car theft ring responsible for stealing nearly 200 vehicles. They say the group used the Alberta Registry's third-party authorization system to register fake vehicle identification numbers under other people's names. There are ways to prevent this, according to police. One way is reporting if your ID is lost or stolen.
If you're the victim of stolen ID or identity theft, when you're in the registries, check and see if there's a vehicle that you don't know that is registered in your name. And if you find that, then please contact the police.
Police also say you can check if a VIN is fake by taking it for an inspection or to a car dealership. Since December, police say they've recovered nearly $2 million worth of stolen vehicles from across Canada and overseas. Construction on the low-level bridge will begin next week, which means some major detours for drivers. Starting Monday, you will not be able to drive north on the bridge. Anyone heading north will have to take the James McDonald Bridge instead. The city says there may be some lane reductions for traffic headed south. Crews are creating a temporary crossover to the North Bridge. That part of construction is expected to be complete by early to mid-August. The South Bridge will then fully close until construction is complete. The city says it should be done by the end of the year. Pedestrians and cyclists can continue to cross the river on the low level. A man in St. Albert says he's killed thousands of grasshoppers in his yard this summer. Alan Lubberding says the problem started about 2 weeks ago. Grasshoppers can be seen on his plants, his sidewalk, his fence, and in his pool. Our cameraman said he was getting hit in the face by them. Lubberding says the field behind his house is part of the province's transportation utility corridor, and it's crawling with them.
They're just everywhere. Like, you can't sit and enjoy your yard, and they're chewing the plants. We spend our time trying to catch and kill grasshoppers.
The city says it has received a few recent complaints. The issue, it says, though, is not exclusive to St. Albert. We'll have some tips on how to get rid of the insects on CTV News at 6. According to Statistics Canada, many Canadians are still shying away from traveling to the United States. Return trips from the United States by Canadian citizens fell nearly 32% in May compared to last year. That same month, return trips overseas increased nearly 9%. One travel agent says it's a reflection of multiple factors, including the low Canadian dollar and political tension between Canada and the U.S. She says more people are traveling within our borders.
A lot of the tours for Newfoundland and Labrador, they're already pretty much sold out until next fall. So that's definitely a really popular thing. I know a lot of people have been going to Halifax, Niagara Falls, so kind of checking out some of our Canadian highlights during the summer. So we've definitely seen a lot of that recently.
The report also shows American residents are making fewer trips to Canada as well. Albertans opting for staycations now have another attraction to take in. The Edmonton Corn Maze opened today. This year's design is a homage to a local business, the Little Potato Company. The Corn Maze rents land from a farmer who grows potatoes for the company. All right, Corey, not too bad of a day to be out there in the corn maze. It wasn't too hot, not too cool either.
Yeah, I just got a good soaking, though, in the last half hour. A storm moving through the Edmonton area and surrounding region, mainly south of the city, did bring a lot of rain, even some hail to some areas. Let's take a look at our current conditions right now. Our temperature, 27. As we look north, we are seeing a mix of sun and cloud, but on the southeast side of the city, we do have some rain and storms. Wind is easing as well. Right there on the southeast corner of the Henday is where we do have some very heavy rain, even reports of hail with this storm cell. It is pushing to the east, off to the west, south of Stony Plain and Wabamun and Seba Beach. We do have more storm cells, and those are going to be tracking eastward. So as this moves out, we could see some more move in. Also seeing some big storms up towards Smoky Lake and Lac La Biche, Vilna. Those are pulling to the east-northeast. So very active weather. We were under a severe thunderstorm warning. It has been dropped for our area. Severe thunderstorm watch does remain. As we go throughout the rest of the supper hour and early evening, we could see a few more storms. And then later tonight, that eases up. Just a slight chance of some thunderstorms later into the evening. Overnight, 17. 15 to start tomorrow morning, becoming gusty as we go throughout the morning tomorrow, and then a little bit more cloud than sun. Slight chance of scattered showers tomorrow and a high of 21. So cooler days returning for tomorrow. Your 3-day forecast, Saturday 21. It looks like we might see a little bit more sun on Saturday and Sunday. Still looking like a chance of showers and a high of 19. Still in store, heat for next week. We really see temperatures ramp up. I have your 5-day forecast coming up in a short bit. Matt.
It's about time it warms up around here. All right, Corey, thank you. A man who transcended pro wrestling to become a household name has died. Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, was pronounced dead at a hospital in Florida after an apparent cardiac arrest at the age of 71. The Hulkster rose to stardom in the 80s, captivating wrestling fans with energetic promos and his muscle-bound physique. He found success outside the ring, famously appearing in Rocky III as Thunderlips. Hogan was caught on tape using racial slurs about a decade ago, and in recent years, he got more involved with politics, supporting Donald Trump. For longtime fans, including people here in Edmonton, it's a complicated history.
For a lot of us, you realize that maybe your heroes don't hold the same values as you do, the core values, as you get older. And that's really something that's hard to square away.
Radio host Scott McCord says Hulk Hogan was part of some of the biggest moments in professional wrestling, including WrestleMania 3 in 1987 when he fought Andre the Giant. McCord compares Hogan's stardom to that of Wayne Gretzky and the Beatles. Coming up next on CTV News, a sweet surprise. An Alberta photographer thrilled to find his work on the label of a popular product.
it's exciting and a little bit satisfying to know that, I get recognized for an image that I worked hard for.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
1 year ago, a third of the town of Jasper was destroyed by a catastrophic wildfire. The community is still recovering. One bright spot is that tourists seem eager to return. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Alpine Village Cabin Resort is rebuilding its legacy, one log cabin at a time. Last year's wildfire destroyed 25 of its 56 cabins and surrounding property.
There's been a lot of change. It was devastating to lose half of our property.
Co-owners Rena and Chris Allen say it's meant a 65% drop in their income. Why, 1 year later, they're overjoyed to open their doors to tourists again.
They've been bringing us chocolates and baking and flowers and everything, and we've had many, many hugs.
The property is fully booked, but because of their losses, they consider it half full.
A lot of people were quite sad, quite upset because they had lost their favorite cabin that they'd been returning to.
Tourists embracing the different but still picturesque landscape.
I visited here in 2010. A lot has changed, but it's great to be back here to see just how beautiful it is.
In terms of the views, it's still incredible. It's still amazing to be here, right?
Parks Canada says tourism in the national park was down 2% in May and June from last year. In May, there was 187,000 visitors, down from 194,000 last year. In June, there were 231,000 visitors, down from 240,000. April, however, actually had a boost in visitors compared to last year.
People are coming back. Town is busy. The park is busy. But there's always space for people to come and visit. We're actively inviting people to come and enjoy Jasper this summer.
The Jasper Wildfire Complex burned more than 32,000 hectares, leaving 25% of campgrounds in the park closed for the year. With campgrounds already in high demand, they're fully booked this summer.
The occupancy rates are pretty good. So I don't know that we could fit many more people in the destination.
With a third of the town site destroyed, Tourism Jasper says there's 20% less places to stay for visitors.
Hotel occupancy has been running around 96%, which is really, really good. It's very hard to get higher than that.
Steady income, that's crucial for businesses.
We're not going to have any insurance help through the winter, so this will really just be, we're going to have to make as much money as we can, keep our margins tight.
With summer in full swing, many tourists aren't letting the damaged landscape deter them from visiting the iconic mountain destination. Some tourists are even making it a priority to come back to Jasper after the wildfire.
I was on the train almost here from Vancouver, and we had to turn around in the middle of the night because of the fire and go back to Vancouver, and they sent us home. So we're trying again this year.
The post-fire landscape, a lesson in nature for tourists.
It provides an opportunity to see natural processes and the regeneration of the park and the ecosystem.
The Allens helping that process along on their property.
Back in September, my son arranged with some friends of his who were tree planters to plant 10,000 small native seedlings.
They've steadily grown, sprouting hope. Like nature, this business can return to its former glory. In Jasper, Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News.
Jasper is being featured on Nutella jars across the country, courtesy of a local photographer. The photo shows Pyramid Mountain with Patricia Lake in the forefront. The photo ended up on the limited edition jars before Edson-based photographer Sean Simmons even knew about it. Simmons says he was contacted a few months ago about licensing a photo, but he wasn't told what it was for. He says it's surreal to know Canadians across the country have his image in their cupboards.
And that wasn't my intention. It'd be different if that's what my intention was, but it wasn't what my intention was. So, yeah, it took me a little bit to process that, and I thought it was really cool. It's exciting and a little bit satisfying to know that, I get recognized for an image that I worked hard for.
Simmons says he's grateful to have a large portfolio of pictures of Jasper before last year's wildfires. He says one day it will be pristine once again.
The unfortunate part about the wilderness is to keep it beautiful, it has to go through periods of devastation. right? So it will come back. It'll come back better and stronger and more beautiful. It may not be soon, but it will come back.
So to come tonight on CTV News, life-saving lessons, how to stay safe on the water this summer. Restaurant in South Edmonton is opening. Customers will bring some school supplies with them. The Varsity on 106th Street near the White Mud is collecting school supplies for the Edmonton Public School Foundation. The restaurant's director of operations says this is an extremely important donation drive for the restaurant.
We named it the Varsity based after universities and school, and that's what our theme is, and we want to help the neighborhood and education as much as possible.
If you'd like to donate, the Varsity is collecting school supplies until September 9th. Apologies to any kids if they're watching the show with their parents tonight. We're not even done July. This is like the second school supply story we've talked about this week, Corey. Hasn't really felt like summer vacation this week, though, with the weather we've been having. More storms today.
Yeah, we could see a few more pass through. We did see a good one pass through kind of along the south side of the Henday. Some hail associated with it. Some very heavy rain. There's the storms pushing east. But right now we are going to take a live look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right, or it's free, 24 degrees. Our temperature has taken a drop. We were at 29 this afternoon before that storm rolled through and dropped our temperatures down. Let's take a look at the almanac. 29, average seasonal high 24, so back above average. It's going to be short-lived. We have one day this week where we're back above average, and then we get closer to it for tomorrow, just below. As we take a look at current conditions right now across the province, temperatures, most are in the mid to high 20s, with exception for McMurray, 18, high level, 17. Other than that, a lot warmer throughout the province, especially in the south. We've got 30 in Medicine Hat, 28 in Lethbridge, 27 in Calgary. Let's take a look at the severe thunderstorm watches and warnings. So in yellow, the watches, red in warnings. So south of Fort McMurray, severe thunderstorm warning. And now south of the city, this was just added. So southeast of Devon, it looks like towards Wetaskiwin, that area seeing some storm cells moving through. With that, producing some hail, heavy rain, strong winds, and that is tracking eastward. As we take a look, there's a moderate thunderstorm risk throughout many areas of the province, us included, but between Edmonton and Calgary, a high thunderstorm risk. Could see some even stronger winds than we experienced here in the city. 90 to 110 kilometer per hour winds. Rainfall upwards of 30 millimeters. Hail possibly 3 to 5 centimeters inside, bringing with it a tornado risk. So keep an eye on the conditions, changing conditions, and any warnings that are put in place. Lots of storms seen in our area and to the north. Let's take a closer look at what we're seeing in towards Lac La Biche and Cold Lake. Lots of storms there. Lots of storm cells pushing east and northeast up towards Fort McMurray. That also brought Fort McMurray's temperature down as well. A little bit closer to home, where we are seeing some of the warnings in place south of the city towards the international airport and south. Some storm cells there. Stalling a little bit over the southeast corner of the Henday. Some heavy rain there in that part of the city as well. We do have more storm cells off to the west. Those will be tracking eastward as we go throughout the evening. And then later tonight, also a chance that we could see a few more storms. So as some pass through, in off to the west, there are some more. We could see those later tonight, about a 40% chance of some thunderstorms later tonight as well. So just keep an eye in the sky for changing conditions. 15 to start off tomorrow morning, becoming gusty, mostly cloudy for tomorrow, 21, and a slight chance of scattered showers. So we take a look at Saturday, sun to cloud, 21, not too bad. Chance of showers on Sunday with a high of 19. And as we get into next week, temperatures start to climb by Tuesday, 27, even hotter days to follow. Your 10-day forecast coming up in the 6 o'clock newscast.
All right, Corey, thank you. The city is marking National Drowning Prevention Week with demonstrations on how to stay safe in and around the water.
Good.
City staff showed us what a properly fitted life jacket looks like. It should not ride up over your chin. The Life Saving Society says about 40 to 50 people drown in Alberta every year. It says most of those deaths happen in areas that are not supervised by lifeguards.
As individuals, we can take simple steps. Wear a life jacket, supervise children actively, learn to swim, and never swim alone.
Earlier this year, life jackets became mandatory on the North Saskatchewan River. When we return on CTV News, coffee competition, the best baristas in the country brewing up something special in Edmonton.
Some of the best coffees that you will ever have access to in your life.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Some of the best coffee baristas in the country are in Edmonton this weekend, vying for a national title. As CTV's Amanda Anderson explains, competitors are making more than your average cup of joe.
This barista has just 15 minutes to make coffee that will wow a panel of judges. She's one of 18 baristas competing in the National Barista Championship hosted by Edmonton's Columbian Coffee Bar and Roastery.
We just wanted to bring that vibrancy and just have people from across Canada come to actually check us out as like a very thriving scene of specialty coffee.
Competitors tell a story as they brew.
The coffees that are actually being used at this competition are some of the best coffees that you will ever have access to in your life. These coffees are sourced and they are very, very expensive, but they're sourced from really phenomenal coffee producers.
Each barista is required to make 3 coffees.
So we'll do the pure espresso, a milk beverage, which is like cappuccino, and then we'll do a signature beverage. So it's a drink created with coffee. It's kind of like a mocktail.
The whole time they have not 1, but 10 judges watching their every move and listening to every word. This is Kitty Chan's second time at Nationals. The Calgarian says it can be nerve-wracking.
We were taught to think of them as like micromanagers at the cafe.
The judges want to ensure whomever wins will be the best to represent Canada at the World Barista Championships in the fall. Canada has finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at previous World Championships, but has yet to win.
They want to make sure that they possess the skills to present, the technical skills, the knowledge of coffee, as well as the sensory knowledge to know how to communicate a sensory experience to people.
There are 5 baristas from Edmonton competing in the Nationals this weekend. It's taking place through Sunday at the Oliver Exchange 2 building and is open to the public. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.